Guys, so today I've decided to take down my YouTube channel. And hey, bro, foes! What's happening, guys? My name is Sumet Chatterjee from the Flow Zone Academy. I'm a flow state coach, okay? Which means that I help you feel better and perform better. Today's the day of the fool, the day of the flower in Bengali, right? Fool in Bengali is flower, okay? The day of the fool, which means the day of the zero, okay? The lowest ranking, but also the highest ranking. Very interesting, okay? The day of the Heyoka. We're gonna do a Heyoka ritual today as well. You know what I realized, man? A lot of people talk around love bombing, narcissism, stuff like this. I realize that that's an addiction. I realize that a lot of people have this trauma bond and they're addicted to this other person because they spike all their neurochemicals, right? And they keep them in that state. So start to understand, are you an addict, right? And you might not want to use that word associated with a person, right? But it's really you're addicted to these negative neurochemicals. If you get into arguments all the time with your spouse, you're addicted to the adrenaline, okay? That adrenaline needs to be transmuted in some way. You can get that adrenaline from other things, right? Going to the gym, from, really handling work pressure and being able to sort through things. You can transmute it in different ways, but that's just how you might have familiarized yourself with this. So you might be experiencing an addiction. It's not the fact that you're addicted to the food or the sex or the substance or the activity or the behavior trait, right? It's more so you're addicted to the neurochemicals, okay? And that's the thing, though. As a flow state Jedi, you've got to understand this, because you know that those neurochemicals have a hold on you, right? The dopamine, the serotonin, the anandamide, all of that has you in a stronghold, has you in a samskar, has you in some kind of a pattern, right? A programmed pattern that you just keep repeating. Now, how do we change a pattern? We first of all have to recognize that it's a pattern, okay? We first of all have to recognize this is a pattern that's showing up in my life, okay? A lot of generational trauma, you realize it's a pattern. My mom's did this, my mom's mamas did this, my mama's mamas did this, okay? So, you gotta understand that, first and foremost, right? That I'm not addicted to the thing itself, but I'm autotelic towards the thing that I truly prefer and I truly want, right? There's something missing in my life. Either I'm going towards something or I'm running away from something. What is that, right? What is the obstacle that we have for ourselves? What is really the obstacle? Because the obstacle that we think, oftentimes, we only see it from one layer. How does it make you feel, right, that thing? What does it look like, right? What does it sound like? This is all NLP tech, right? Going into all of your senses with the actual obstacle, right? And understanding where are you at now, where you want to be, and what are the things getting in the way. That's it. That's what you got to figure out, right? And there's a way to simplify that process. If you really want to understand that you can ask yourself meta questions to get yourself into such a powerful state of mind, okay? Now, I think that a lot of people, they misuse what the situation they've been given. What they lack for in resources, they can make up for in resourcefulness. And so, you've got to innovate, man. You got to get creative right now. If you're going through an obstacle and you keep struggling with the same obstacle, this is the time to get hyper creative, to do something new that you haven't tried before, right? To sort through and kind of shock the subconscious, like, we're doing this, by the way, and there's nothing you can do about it, okay? Kind of like a strict Not strict in a sense, because the strictness will cause more rigidity. And that's what we want to avoid, actually. You see what I mean? We want to avoid the rigidity. We don't want to go into this like, oh yeah, this is exactly how I'm going to behave, and this is exactly what we're going to do here. Because there's a pattern that I've noticed in a lot of clients too, where whenever they get close to a breakthrough or a feeling, they constrict or they clench up, okay? They start getting more rigid, they start getting more tight, rather than open and free and loose and like a libertine, okay? Free in your expression. So what I want you to try to practice, if you're going to tap into the zone or tap into the flow state, is simply this. You want to practice containing your emotions. Not repressing your emotions, containing them, like in a bubble or a chamber. Okay? So let's say there's sadness within you. Allow yourself to feel that like a force field bubble around you, okay? Don't let the sadness leak out into random activities that you're doing throughout the day. That's the thing, right? When we're angry, we let that anger leak out. We get suddenly mad at our boss or mad at someone else, or project it or transfer that energy onto someone else. Now that's not taking a very big responsibility for our emotions. As a pleasure alchemist, you got to understand this. You got to stop this habit. Got to stop this habit of taking someone else's emotion. Let's say you get bullied, you then go and bully your little sister or something, right? It's a pattern that just connects. It's a deflection. It's a projection. You get what I mean? And these projections are actually stopping you from expressing your God-honest truth. Okay? Because these are just defense mechanisms, right? They're just coming across in your verbiage, in your speech. But what if you didn't need any defense? What if you had all the spiritual protection and the defense that you needed? What if you needed to start your spiritual process because you understand that wisdom is the most important for your path to Dharma? Okay? Wisdom is the most pristine path, okay? Pristine path, wisdom of your spiritual practice, of spirituality, of this whole thing, is going to bring so much fruit, okay? So many blessings that come from that. That absolutely you understand that if I start learning, and the way it's defined by my father's guru, okay, is that essentially wisdom is a dense or deep knowledge of a subject around a meaningful object, okay? Meaningful, remember, meaningful. Now, meaningful releases serotonin, right? When you create more meaning in a situation, you release serotonin, the happiness neurochemical in a sense, more so related to the long-term, gratification rather than the short bursts of like dopamine, right? Dopamine is the quick reward chemical, neurochemical, right? That starts to stack. A lot of people are addicted to that dopamine culture. But we also need a little bit of that serotonin, right? So we can mellow out the melancholy. And we need that sunlight. We need that efficiency, okay? There's probably a bunch of things that you're doing that's lowering your serotonin, okay? That's creating a lack of meaning. If you lack meaning, if you lack purpose, in the long term, you're missing out on that self-esteem, right? If you're low in self-esteem, you're also going to be low in meaning, correct? So, number one, you got to get your meaning in order. Like, what does this mean to me? What does this life mean? What is my meaning? Maybe your life is to, maybe your life is to make life meaningful for you. So maybe it has no meaning, but you invent a meaning. just as a placeholder, so you can get yourself moving and get yourself enough momentum where you can get from one goal to the next, right? So last night we did a session for Miracle J, and it was very, very powerful, man. We tapped into Haru's energy, and what happened is actually, it went on for like more than an hour or so, I'm thinking. I don't even remember because I was channeling, I was invoking, right? But then the Wi-Fi got cut, right? And it was raining heavily, like storming, and I you know, was making sure that everything was good. But then I remember just waking up so confused. I was like, huh? What's going on? I felt like I was mid-speech, but I really wasn't mid-speech, right? The entity, or Haru, or Horus was mid-speech, right? And then suddenly my brain kind of went into this mode where it was trying to, like, Haru was trying to figure out what to do in this situation. And then he was just like looking around the environment, I think, and like looking around and then looking around and then looking at the, you know, the technology on the screen. We use Zoom to record, right? Looking at this, looking up, being completely, like, I was completely frazzled between that state and then my own self, right? Because in channeling, I tend to get a little bit of a short-term memory loss, right? When I do this thing, because I completely forget, because I'm letting go, right? I'm not trying to latch on to the things that I'm saying, right? Like when you're meditating, right? You're kind of letting the thoughts pass by. You're not like taking each thought, putting them under a microscope, you know, overanalyzing each thought, like, and then taking the next thought and then putting it under a microscope. You're not doing that when you're channeling, right? You're just allowing the expression or the frequency, this beingness, to come through the channel that is I, the vessel, right? And through that, you got to understand a couple of things. By the way, if you want to learn how to do this, if you want to learn how to summon spirits or, you know, do these certain things, definitely reach out to me. I've been doing this for quite a bit, and I fine-tuned it to a very scientific level as well. So it's very, very cool, and I think that this could bring us a lot of benefit, a lot of secret ancient wisdom and knowledge, wisdom being one of those gateways towards happiness. And again, creating meaning in life, right? So, man, this work is so empowering and so energizing. You know what I mean? In the moment, it's energy draining, because when you do healing on somebody, when you do clearing work on somebody, you're also doing it kind of through yourself, because you're the space holder, right? So you're taking on another's energy as you're clearing their own. And so sometimes there will be little, like, mini side effects, you know what I mean? But what is that? What is that mini side effect compared? Like, okay, feeling a little bit tired today? Bro, that's like baby stuff, man. Like, come on. You're feeling a little bit tired? Oh, you need a little nap? Dude, you're an adult, okay? Of course you do. You know what I mean? Like, come on now, right? Come on now. Let's not let these little side effects take us away from the grand benefits that come from this. We can use this information to heal humanity. I'm not gonna be worried about side effects right now. I'm trying to use this tech to heal myself and seek my own freedom and help others to seek their own freedom. Finding each individual's locus or luxury of choice that they can come from. Okay? This is really powerful right now. And I really want you to take this into consideration. Okay? This is a powerful mold. Your flow state activity, whatever it is, it's a powerful mold for your character. Okay, understand that, because that's the activity that you use to distort your ego, basically. Okay? It either dissolves it or it brings it back full form, okay? So you've got to understand how to maneuver this, how to turn this on and off, how to turn the prefrontal cortex on and off, right? In order for you to tap in on command. Now, sometimes we need more of our prefrontal cortex, so it's good to massage this area as well to open your brain up. You know, like you're splitting your brain open like this, okay? Like this. It's also good to massage this area. But also, you got to understand that if you just take 3 conscious breaths before a flow state exercise, you'll be set. You'll be solid. You'll be golden. You see what I'm saying? So start by truly accepting that these are the things that I need to do. So today's an intro video. I just want to tell you what I'll be up to this month and kind of giving you an introduction based on that, okay? So basically, I'm going to create something called a confirmation journal. I already mentioned to you guys every single activity that I do that adds resonance or co-resonance to the character that I'm trying to create. I'm going to write it down. So let's say I practice MMA, I'll write it down. I do a little bit of yoga, I write it down. Why? Because it adds to the priest beast character, okay? So anything that makes me more priestly or more beastly, I'm going to write it down, okay? That includes health, wealth, relationships, all 3 things, okay? Health, wealth, relationships. These are the main areas of everybody's life that they need to focus on. And spirituality is the container of all 3, okay? So I'm not saying, oh, what about spirituality? Some people are wondering. Bros, it's all spirituality. You get what I mean? That is the home. The home is where all of these other parts, like we're talking about parts today, right? And stay true for my dad's retreat, meditation retreat on impermanence. So I'm just waiting for the, airplane to go past. So the thing is, we have parts, right? We have different parts of ourselves, different roles that we play, okay? Maybe you're a brother to someone, maybe you're a cousin to someone, maybe you're a dad to someone, maybe you're a friend to someone, maybe you're a student or a teacher to someone, okay? Maybe you're a coworker, maybe you're a boyfriend, girlfriend to someone, right? And so we have all these roles that we're playing. These are parts of us. The good guy version, the nice guy, and then the bad boy, right? The good girl, the obedient girl, and then the bad girl, right? So there are these many different parts of us, right? The people pleaser version, and some of these parts of us can also be different trauma responses, remember. So once we heal the traumas, which is what, this kind of energy work, chakra healing work, combined with NLP, combined with all this tech that I've learned, bioenergetics, all together in a familiarized system, right? Biodynamic types of breath work. You are actually creating now your flow state mastery protocol, right? Once you have all this shit on deck, like you're like Batman with the utility belt with all these flow state tools, okay? You're coming in heavy, okay? You're coming in to almost like change and cause a ripple. So what is the benefit? Hey, the benefit isn't you get a paycheck, bro. The benefit is you cause ripples. You cause ripples. We spoke with Joe yesterday, and I remember this word, ripples, right? Your essence, your freedom, your brand, whoever you are, what you represent on this planet is a grand overarching concept that sends ripples. And when you can understand how to do that, you're going to understand the true path to happiness, man. Because helping somebody else on this other side of the screen is really what fills my heart with complete epiphanies, desires, synchronicities, and all that I ever asked for, man. It's always been like that. But I've been deluding myself and thinking that it's not that. But this path of service is so gratifying, man. Okay, there's satisfaction, and then there's fulfillment. This helps me actually get to that fulfillment level, right? Where I'm actually teaching what I would like to hear, right? If I was a student watching this YouTube, I would want to hear this kind of information coming at me. Information that can help me transform from A to B. Correct? So once we have everything in order, right? I should have brought up the confirmation journal up here on the roof so I can show you guys what I've been up to. But basically, I've been just thinking about the chakras in terms of archetypes, right? Like level 1 being almost the sense of the beast, right? And all the top the crown is like the priest or the god, right, in a sense. So, and in between are all these other avatars, right? The lover, the warrior, the messenger, the poet, right? In the heart chakra, it would be the king, right? You hold your throne. You hold your throne by paying attention to your heart space, right? Your presence, your kingliness, or your queenliness. And then, of course, you have the magician, the third eye, right? So, really understanding that now we're getting to this formality of, okay, there are these different archetypes, right, associated with these different levels. I've been looking into Dane's book again and refining, fine-tuning this flow state tech so we can try to stack on top of this, right? So we can amplify this, so we can make this more interesting for ourselves. So how can we make this more interesting for ourselves? That's a good question. We've got to, number one, describe the priest beast character in the best way possible, right? In the words that we truly love and that we understand. Now, some people are scared of the word beast because of like the Bible or something like that, right? That's not what I mean. I mean all of the animal kingdom, your lowest, most primal self. Okay, this is what I mean. Every man has access to this, okay? Don't lie to me and tell me that you don't have an access to this primal part of you, right? That wants to conquer, that just wants to destroy things, that just wants to get ahead. Don't tell me that you as a man are missing this quality, okay? This quality, if it's been suppressed, it's not gonna cause you this kind of level of traction in life, right? Traction is when you say you're gonna do something and you move forward and do it, right? The opposite being distraction, okay? Yo, I just created a diss track on Flow State. It's called Distraction, man. Okay? I'm taking you away from the track. In fact, you are gonna play a different track. I'm gonna take you this way. It's a completely new track that you have no idea about, okay? So, this is like a joke, right? How you can watch a TV series and it can release all these neurochemicals in your brain and get you hooked. Right? There's a book called Hooked, by the way, as well. It shows this process. But these cues, they're inventing all of these apps to change your emotional state. So now every time that you're lonely, you start scrolling on Tinder. Every time that you feel like, oh, I need to see what my friend is up to, you go to Facebook. You go to all these apps. Maybe every time you're bored, you go to YouTube. Okay? Now listen, you gotta figure out a way that you can maintain this evolution. Okay? I'm feeling fresh in my energy today because, well, I've been meditating for 2 days straight, right? And I'm also exploring the fact that, hey, I'm gonna die one day. That's what impermanence is reminding me of, right? Shit. I'm not going to be here one day. Memento mori, right? So in order for me to truly seize the day, I've got to seize opportunities and I've got to get my word out there. I've got to squeeze all this wisdom that's sitting inside me, sitting inside my solar plexus, right? And just uncage it towards somebody who doubles down, pays the fee that it's worth, right? I'm going to give you the value that it's worth and over-deliver beyond that. Because that's just the type of person I am, bro, you know? That's just the type of person I am. I'm not over-giving or over-delivering because of a weird trauma response. I'm over-delivering because I understand that it's going to come back some way, somehow, but also I feel a purpose and a mission towards helping a younger version of me out into the world. The young men of the world who are struggling with their self-esteem, with their image, with girls, with money, with habits, with tapping into the zone, okay? With being an awesome hermit, with being the Sigma that actually thrives and not, caves himself in a cage and looks at all these toxic archetype versions of like, dun, 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 okay? That's not it, bro. Okay? You being John Wick in a castle somewhere is not going to help you win as much as you observing the mannerisms of John Wick and understanding that you can be a deadly assassin at your own craft, If you're a painter, you've got to become that lethal. You see, that clinical, that much of a sniper approach you've got to take to your life. You get what I mean? Right now, you're way too scattered, bro. Way too distracted. Too many things going on, okay? The symbol of death coming up to me. What's good, bro? See what I'm saying? Like this kind of stuff happens all the time. You get what I mean? There's another rebirth probably taking place, which is why both of these crows are here, right? That too on a satellite dish, which is a chakra wheel. You guys get what I mean? Two for joy too. But it's also, it's a symbol of Freya. It's a symbol of Hecate. This is a symbol of Yama, right? Clearly, these beings are telling me that this is their territory, right? They're reminding me of something, right? They're reminding me of something. You see? They're two friends, right? And now all of them are showing up. See? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Soon enough, this entire place will be filled up with these guys, right? And so that's what I really want you to understand, is that we got to travel with a pack like this. You get it? And also, this is Kolkata, right? It's it's a funny place to actually consider these things. But yeah, man, I'm ending the video now. I hope you guys are having an incredible day. May the flow be with you and stay legendary. I hope this video was enjoyable, and I hope you have an incredible rest of your day. Let's go, hosts.